welcome to our first tutorial of the year. Hope you guys enjoyed your holidays and rested very well. Now, tutorial for today would be the back cowl dress. Now, this tutorial is one that you will really love because it is very simple. It's really simple and very quick to make. Now, if you're a beginner, please get in here because this tutorial is for you. Now, if you're an advanced student or an intermediate student, trust me, you're going to learn one or two things from this tutorial as well. Now, this tutorial is a different kind of back cowl. The reason why I called it a different kind of back cowl is because there are other different types of back cowl drape. Now, let me show you a different one. This other one that you're seeing on your screen right now is one of the tutorials that I made for my girlies in my online school. So here I answered all the what and the why questions about this back cowl drape generally, and I also showed a different technique in how to draft the patterns and then how to make this back cowl. Now, if this is something you are interested in, I'll drop the link in the description box. Then you can hit the link and then access the class. Now, you're going to have access to this back cowl dress class and then more than other 30 different classes for the same price. It's just 12 euros to access all of the classes in that particular program. Now, back to our class. So for this back cowl dress, we'll be needing our dartless bodice block. Okay, so this is the front and this is the back. If you don't have this bodice block, the dartless bodice block, no worries at all. I have a tutorial here on YouTube where I explain how to actually convert your normal woven bodice, that's the bodice with dart, to the dartless bodice block. It is very easy. It's less than 10 minutes. You would have converted your woven bodice to a dartless bodice where you can also use it for stretch fabrics. Okay, so for this tutorial we don't want that and all of that, so that's why we're going with this block. So the first thing, as usual, that we're going to do would be for us to trace out our block. So you place your block on the paper, trace it out, and then you are going to lengthen it according to your desired length. Now I have already done mine. So we're starting with the back first because the back has all the drama. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do for the back side is we are going to drop the neckline a little bit. So the neckline here, from the center back neckline, I'm just going to drop it, say about 2 cm. Now you can make yours a little bit lower, or you can leave yours like this. For me, if I leave mine like this, it's going to be a little choky and I don't like it to be really tight. So I'm going to take off 2 cm from my center back like that, and then on the shoulder as well I'm going to take off 2 cm just to expand the neckline. You can also leave yours the way it is, it depends on you. Once you've done that, the next thing is you're going to connect the 2 points together. So you use your French curve and then you just connect it nicely like so. Okay, and I'm going to chop off this part because we don't need it anymore. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to draw slash lines. Now these slash lines, we're going to draw them and cut them open. They will enable us to create that cowl drape effect at the back. So you're going to divide your, this is my waistline. I want the effect to start from somewhere here. Now you can actually decide where you want the drape to start from. You can mark, you can go higher or you can go lower, but I usually prefer it to start from my waistline. So from the waistline here, you are going to mark slash lines. So for me, I'm just going to mark, say, 4 cm. So I'm marking my slash lines just 4 cm apart. And then on this side you do exactly the same thing, just about 4 cm apart. So I've got 9 points here. You also have to have exactly the same here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, good. So I have 9 points, so I'm going to be making 9 slash lines. Now it doesn't matter, yours doesn't have to be exactly 9. It could be smaller, it could be more, it doesn't really matter. Just draw slash lines. So now you're going to cut open your slash lines. So I'm going to cut this one, the one from my waistline. Cut it from the center back all the way to the side seam. But do not cut it to the end, don't cut it through. So cut all of them like so. Okay, so now you're going to get a plain sheet of paper to place under it so you can spread them out. Okay, so once you place it on a plain sheet of paper, you're going to spread them out, say about 3 cm apart. So yeah, about 3 cm apart. Spread all of them out about 3 cm apart. Now remember also that the wider you spread them out, the fuller your drape will be at the back. So if you want your drape to be really full, then you can spread them out more than 3 cm. I don't want my drape to be too full at the back, so 3 cm is just right for me. Now if you also don't want your drape to be very full, you can spread them out less than 3 cm, say about 2 cm. So it really depends on you. Just know that the wider you spread them out, the fuller your drape will be. So once you finish spreading them out according to your desired, according to how you desire it, the next thing would be for us to draw a straight line. So on your center back line here, you're going to draw a very straight line. Try to make sure that this line is straight, like it's very important. Okay, so you draw a straight line like so, because this part is going to be placed on the folded edge of our fabric, so it's important for it to be straight. And then once you draw your line, you're going to connect this point to this point here. So you draw another line to connect them. Okay, so you're going to have something like this. Now if you want the opening of your back to show a little bit, so that it will not be, the drape will not be fully closed, then you are going to take off a little bit from this part. So you're going to measure downwards from here now, say about 5 cm. Now it could be more or it could be less, depending on how much exposure you want at the back. Now you're going to connect this point to this point here. Okay, so that means we don't need this part anymore. We're going to trim it off. So I'm going to cut off from here now, and then trim off the other excess fabric, excess paper. Okay, so once you finish trimming off the excess paper, like that's it, you're really done. You have finished drafting the patterns for the cowl drape. I told you, it's very easy, straightforward, right? Please let me know in the comment section if this tutorial is very easy for you, or if you enjoy this tutorial so far, or if you understand it. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section. Please, your feedback is really very important to me, please. So don't just watch this tutorial and just walk past. Please just drop a comment, a simple comment, for me to know what you think about the tutorial. It will be highly appreciated. Okay, and if you found it really helpful, please also don't hesitate to give me a thumbs up and then share it with your sewing buddies as well. Okay, now on this part of the center back, we are going to cut it on fold. So let me place this like this. We're going to cut it on the folded edge of our fabric. Okay, and remember, for this dress, it's important for you to cut it on the bias. You will get a better drape when you cut it on the bias. So I'm going to put my bias line just to let you know that this is to be cut on the bias. Okay, so now this is the back part. We're done drafting the back pattern. Let's move over to the front part. So for the front part, you're also going to trace out your front dartless bodice block, and then you're going to lengthen it just the way you did for the back side. Now you're also going to drop the front neckline a little bit. So I'm going to drop mine by about 3 cm, and then on the shoulder, whatever you use to drop your neckline for the back side is what you're also going to use for the front side, so that your shoulder seam will balance very well. So I use 2 cm for the back side, so I'm using 2 cm here for the front side as well. So you're going to connect these 2 points together. And then you trim off this part because we don't need it anymore. Okay, so we're actually done for the front side. The front is very easy and straightforward. Again, you cut this on bias. Okay, so we're going to now place our patterns on our fabric and then cut them out. So for this dress, you will need about 3 meters of fabric. Now the reason why we are using 3 meters of fabric is because this dress is going to be placed on the bias. Otherwise, 2 meters would have been okay. Normally when we cut on bias, it takes more fabrics. Okay, I'm using a stretch fabric. You see, it has a little bit of stretch. Okay, but you can actually also use woven fabric for it. You can use fabrics like crepe, satin, rayon, tricot. Yes, just use fabric that is soft enough to drape. Please don't use Ankara for this dress. It is not going to give you a very fine drape. Okay, remember to also throw your fabric on the bias. Okay, and then you place your pattern on it. Now remember, this part is going to be placed on the folded edge of your pattern. So you place it just like so, and then before you cut, remember to add your seam allowance. Add your seam allowance all around, say about 1.5 cm seam allowance all around. Okay, so you're also going to cut the front just exactly like this as well. All right, now let me take off the pattern so that you can see how it looks. You see how our cowl drape has formed? Nice and neat, right? I like it already. Okay, so now let's go ahead and cut the front. Now once you finish cutting, we're going to start stitching. So you're going to place your front and your back fabric pattern pieces together, and then we're going to join them at the shoulder. Please take note of the shoulder. So with the right side facing themselves, just place them together like this. You're going to go ahead, join the shoulder, and then you're going to join the side seam. So join them together on the side seam, on this side seam and the shoulders. All right, so once you finish joining the shoulder and the side seam, you give it a very good press. The next thing would be for us to finish off our neckline. Now the first part we're going to finish will be the back side, the cowl drape side. So we're going to take our back neckline. This is the right side of my fabric, you can see. So we're going to take the back neckline like so, and then we're just going to fold it in nicely like this, and fold it in a little bit again, just like this, and then we'll stitch from one end all the way down to this other end. So now you're going to take it to the ironing board and then press it very well so that it will lay very flat. So the next thing will be for you to cut a little piece of fabric. The width is about 3 cm or 3.5, and then the length, it should be about 10 cm or even less. So you're going to fold it at the, this is my right side, so just fold it together like this, fold the right side together, and then we're going to stitch a little bit from one end all the way down to the other end. We're going to use it to actually create the button loop, because this dress is going to have a button closure at the neck. Okay, now so you're going to trim off the excess seam allowance. Trim it very close to the seam. We're trimming it also that it will not be bulky inside. And then you're going to use your loop turner. If you don't have a loop turner, you can use a safety pin or anything. And then you're just going to turn it to the other side. Okay, good. So you're going to have something like this. So you're just going to go ahead and press it before we use it for our button loop, just like this. Okay, so now you're going to place this your button loop on the left side of your back neckline, your back cowl drape. Okay, just give a little bit of seam allowance that you use to close it, maybe about 1.5 cm. You can mark it with a chalk if you like, maybe somewhere here about 1.5 cm, like so. And then you're just going to fold this like this, place it inside, on the inside, place it inside like this. Now depending on how big your button is, that will determine how much this space, the buttonhole, will be, or your button loop. See, my button is very small, you see, so that will determine how much. If your button is a bit wider, then you can open it a little bit. Just test it with your button to see if it goes through, if you can pass through. Okay, so this is looking good. So this is how my button loop is going to be. So you're going to stitch it. Now you can use a pin. Once you are sure where to put it, you can use a pin to hold them together in place so that it doesn't move. Okay, and then you stitch it, stitch on this stitch line, on this stitch line here, to hold them together in place. Okay, okay, now so you're going to have something like this. If you turn it to the inside, you're going to have something like this. Now you're going to trim off your excess, the excess loop. Just trim it off very nicely like so. Okay, so the next thing now is for us to finish off the back neckline all the way down to the front neckline. We are going to pipe it. Now to pipe the neckline, you're going to cut a long rectangular stripe like this. This one is going to be cut on bias stripe. Please, it's important that you cut this on bias, because when you cut it on bias, it stretches out a little bit so that you can turn the neckline very nicely. Now the length of this will be about the length of your neckline. So you see my neckline, so you just measure it from here all the way down like so, all the way down to this other end. Okay, so you're going to use that measurement to cut this long bias stripe. This bias stripe can be slightly longer, it doesn't matter, you're going to cut it later. It's better it's longer than shorter. Now you're going to take it, you're going to look for the right side. Yes, this is the right side of my fabric or my bias, and you place the right side of your bias against the right side of your neckline. You see what I did? Right side against the right side. Now on this side, I hope you're following, fold the bias. Let me show you again. Fold the bias, this is the right side of my bias, fold it in like this, just a little bit in like this. You can iron it if you like, just fold it in a little bit and then place it right side of your neckline against the right side of your bias like so. Now you see how it is staying very well. Make sure they match like this so that your neckline will be neat. And then you're going to stitch from here. You're going to stitch from here about 1.5 cm seam allowance that you added all the way down to the other side. Now take note, the width of this bias should be about 3.5 cm or thereabout. It shouldn't be more than 4 cm. If it's more than 4 cm, then it's going to be too wide. So now once you get to the end here, the other end, you're going to fold this bias in also. You see my bias is slightly longer, which is okay. Now we're going to cut it off. So you just place your scissors like this and cut off the extra. Okay. So make sure it's folded in like this very nicely, and then you stitch all the way. Let me stitch it from here. Okay, so once you're done like this, you're going to trim off this seam, trim it off a little bit so that it will reduce bulk. Okay, so you're going to have something like this. You reduce the seam allowance. Now if you really want your neckline to relax very well, you can push your seam towards your bias like so, and then you go ahead and stitch on it, top stitch on it, so that it will relax very well. Okay, so now you're going to take it to the ironing board and iron it very nicely like so that your neckline will relax very well. So after ironing like so, I just iron this so that it will relax very well. This is the next thing I do so that my piping will be very neat. Now it takes a bit of time. See, you just fold it in like this and fold it in so that it will cover this nicely. Now this step takes a bit of time, but trust me, it is worth it. So I fold it in like so, and I use pins to hold them together in place. Okay, so you can actually start from any side. Now let me see if I can start from here. Aha, so this side is easier for me to start from. So you put it in nicely like that, and then you pin it. So I'm going to pin it in front because I'm actually going to stitch it from the front side. So you see how it is. So you keep pinning it until you get to the other end. Okay, don't worry, be patient to do this. It will give you a better result when you finish, and you'll be happy with your piping. Okay, so now you're going to stitch it from here all the way down to the other end. You're going to top stitch it. Okay, okay, so you see now, if you look at the front, you see how neat it is. Nice and neat. Okay, and now you're going to go ahead and give it a very good press. So you're going to go ahead to fix your button. You can see my cute ladybug button. Okay, and then you're going to attach your sleeves. If you want to attach sleeves, you can attach any sleeve of your choice. I went ahead to attach a fitted 3/4 sleeve. Otherwise, you can leave it as sleeveless as well. And remember to finish off your hem. Okay, once you've done all of that, you're going to have a cute back cowl dress just like this. You can see all the beautiful drapes at the back. And that will be it for this tutorial. I told you that this tutorial was simple, was it not? Please let me know in the comment section what you think. Your feedback really helps a lot. Please don't just walk past. Please leave a comment for me to hear your thoughts, okay? And if you really want to learn sewing, or you want to upgrade your pattern making and sewing, you can join my online class where you learn step by step how to create patterns very easily, and how to make or how to sew different types of outfits very easily with nice finishing and sewing techniques, okay? And then again, if you're someone who likes back cowl, watch this next tutorial so that you can learn how to draft this back cowl with a different pattern making technique. All right, I'll see you in my next class. Bye bye.